I'm Nick. I'm interviewing Jeff Kimberlin. He served in Vietnam. And so, Jeff, can you please state your name, your rank, and your unit?
My name is Jeff Kimberlin, like you said. I got out of the service as an E5 in electronic warfare in the Navy.
How did you get involved in the war? Were you drafted or?
Day before I was drafted, I joined the Navy.
Okay. What was it like enlisting?
What was it like?
Were you afraid at all?
Every minute of my life. Yeah, it's a big jump from a high school kid that didn't know really much to all of a sudden being with a bunch of guys that were scared also.
How long were you in Vietnam?
2 tours, total of 18 months.
What years?
68 through 71.
What was basic training like? Did you learn a lot and did it prepare you?
This is like deja vu. It taught you'll never be taught for fighting in a war. That you just have to, it has to be part of you.
What was your job and assignment?
Electronic warfare. I was on radar systems looking for Soviet missiles, submarines, anything that could fire a missile.
What type of things did you go through on the average day? Like from the time you woke up to the time you went to bed?
While I was in Vietnam?
Yes.
You usually were going nonstop. You were either on the radars or looking for missiles, like I said, nonstop. Then certain times I would have to go up in a helicopter with my computer. At the time we called computer, it was just an A-scope, and look for Soviet missiles or any other kind of Chinese missile.
Okay. Did you witness the use of Agent Orange? If so, how did you feel about it?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what it was until all of a sudden they said you were involved with it. Agent Orange now they're saying could have drifted off the coast and affected even Navy people out in the ocean. So would I be upset? Well, yeah, but believe me, they didn't know that was going to happen. So, yeah.
Okay. Did you develop any friendships? If so, how do you guys meet?
Yes, because you're living with people every day. I mean, you're eating, you're sleeping, you're taking showers, you're in the head together. So yeah, you did. Afterwards, I didn't stay much in contact with people. I mean, there's a few I still talk to, but overall, no. Because I shifted a lot. A lot of people stayed on the same ship for, for 4 years. And I was on, like I said, 5 to 7 different destroyers. So I didn't really have a lot of different friends.
Today we were told that the war was fought to stop the spread of communism. What were you told?
Do you believe that?
What were you told you were fighting for when you were in the service?
Well, exactly what you said. But what were you fighting for? Drugs and oil. That was the key thing. Now you know it, and at the time you didn't realize it, but that's what it was all over. Hated to say that to you, but that's what it was.
I understand. How did you feel about going to Vietnam? Did you have any doubts?
Yeah, but you had no choice. You went. What were your options besides going to Canada and becoming, like I told you, a draft dodger, one that runs away from a fight? And back then we were taught no one runs away from a fight. Not the Americans, at least.
Did you have any trouble readjusting after you returned from Vietnam? How were you treated? Did you experience any problems?
No, not really. Just with young kids interviewing me. Wait, where's my gun? No, didn't have any, but it was different then. Now you see soldiers coming back, and people like to see soldiers in uniforms and stuff. When I came back, I flew into San Francisco, and people were spitting on me. The war was not well liked. You had people that were anti-war back then, and soldiers were, you know, killers. We were child killers, you know. Totally different. Up in a helicopter and hearing bullets go through the helicopter and wondering, first time, was I ever going to make it home? Would I ever survive? I think you tune out a lot. I mean, there was a lot of scary times, and times you wondered if you were ever going to survive, but I think you really block those from your mind. At least I do, and that might be my trait of dealing with it. You just don't remember it. So I wish I could tell you some real good stories. You know, how I climbed the hill, how I climbed the hill and killed, you know, everybody. But there really wasn't a lot of that, you know, on my part.
Was there a lot of death involved? Did you see people?
I didn't see as much because when I was in Vietnam, I was in the helicopter. So yeah, you could see that. I could see a lot of water buffalo getting killed, you know, because we were mean and ornery, and that was our way of torturing them, because that was their religious thing, you know, in a sense. But no, not really that I can really pay attention to. Most of the times I just kept my head down, looked at the computer, and wondered if I was ever going to make it. And you know what? I'll bring up one good time. Is when I first went up at one and was scared to death, all of a sudden I smelled and they were smoking weed in the helicopter. That scared me, yeah. And not to say that I didn't the next time, but the first time I didn't. So there we go.
All right, well, thank you so much for having me interview.
That was it?
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel like I'm not much of a war hero.